لم يعلم عليك توكلنا يا الله وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا وصلى الله على سيدنا ومولانا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. We give thanks unto Allah for this opportunity again that we have to come together to look at those things that we have said, to remind ourselves of those things that we talked about, to explain to ourselves some of those changes that we would have noticed. No matter how young you are, you have aged to some extent. When you say aging, you are talking of people who have shifted in the number of days that they had lived on earth. A 7-year-old is already aged 7 years, 7 days. A baby born this morning is already some hours old. So aging is indeed a continuous thing, and it continues until death comes. We beseech Allah Azza wa Jal to keep us alive for as long as we shall have benefit of worship unto Him and His pleasure in our existence. We beseech Allah to continue to bless our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one who came, who was indeed a Quran in motion, who taught us how to live life to the best and the fullest of enjoyment, and then be cautious and careful unto the words of Allah. Learn how to worship Him, surrender completely and unconditionally unto Him, such that the passage we have here, when we leave and go to the next bus stop, which is under the ground, we'll still have some peace and enjoyment and comfort, and that on the day of Qiyamah, we'll have a big expanse of land that will be given to the believers, that will hug ourselves and thank Allah that indeed He has fulfilled His promise that Al-Jannah Firdaus will be the reward of those people who live the life of faith, the life of belief, the life of surrender unto Allah. After that, I want to extend this greeting unto us all, my brothers and sisters, elders and leaders on the platform. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. This is the 4th time we are meeting on Tuesdays to talk about aging, a process that you cannot stop, very complex, but indeed inescapable. As you age, so many changes occur inside you. Some of them, in fact, let's say most of them, we are not conscious or aware of them. But the changes they bring on our body and existence and physiology, as well as psychology, are there for us to know that we indeed have passed some bus stops in life. We talked about everything being as Allah has decreed. We look at Quran chapter 22, verses 5 and 6, where Allah described that we started from ordinary water. We indeed have started before the water. Pieces of sand we were put together, the first man. Eventually we became seeds in the breasts of women and also in the buttocks thereabout for men. Both of them will eventually meet somewhere inside the woman, and eventually a new baby is formed and delivered as at when Allah has decreed. Some of them waiting for only one day to become just ordinary blood to be missed, or some of them to grow old and still be missed as abortion. Some of them to come early and go early, some of them to go into old age. That is called sometimes miserable in the languages of the physiomedical individuals. Because indeed, as Allah described it, you grow so old to become to know so much that you never know so much again, you never know anything again. You grow old to become as weak as you were when you were born. When you were born, you were assisted in everything and all things. The only thing you knew how to do was to cry. Helplessly you were. Helplessly you also become, in case you go into that old age as Allah is describing in the Noble Quran. I will talk about the physiology of this relating to hormones of the body when we started life. So much hormones prepared, some of them preparing you for maturity, some of them sustaining maturity, some of them winning you off maturity and making you to become old enough to begin to lose grasp of those things that you used to do. Remove energy from your system, make you weaker, less strong, less strong enough for life, and then becoming miserable because of those faculties that Allah may make to become weaker than normal. I will talk about the hormones that take care of digestion. Eventually, as you grow older, you lose the size of your stomach, you lose the size of the muscles of your body, and you become kind of slimmer as time goes on. And then we talk about indulgences in life. There are people who, despite that we will all get old, you may make a bad catalyst for this when you indulge in wrong things in life. People who take drugs, people who take wrong food, people take wrong combinations of items to their body, they age faster and their systems suffer more and therefore become more miserable and earlier than ordinary people who take care of themselves. Let's talk about the psychology of the past. And I would say that people who suffer a lot in the past, when they get older, they become a little more miserable, especially when they dwell on the past, when they don't allow the past to go, and particularly when there are pasts that cannot go. We talk about growing and then making sure that it is not a sin to have a disease condition, diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, peptic ulcer, all of these things. It's not a sin to have them. But the sin there is for you to neglect them and not able to take care of yourself. And then this make you to age faster and live a more miserable life. So when we have any of this, it's important that we realize that there are prices we pay when we age more. Of course, when you live long enough, you see your grandchildren, see your great grandchildren. It is joyful. But of course, there are no pains, there are no gains without pains. By that time, your eyes would have started asking you questions. Don't forget that the eyes and the nose and the skin and everything that you started with when your father and the mother met that first night, and then you became a piece of flesh that Allah described in glorious Quran. That same eye is the eye that you have at 91 years old. So your eyes have worked for the number of years you have lived, plus extra 8 months that you stayed in your mother's womb. So, like I also always mention, and I want to remind us, the school uniform that you went to school with for the first day, your school, primary school, where are those uniforms now? Even the one you use in your secondary school. But of course, the athlete uniform that Allah has put on all of us is the one we are still wearing around, your skin. So the number of us, the quality and the length of time you have been exposed to the sun will tell stories on your skin. The number of time you have been beaten by the rain will also tell stories on your skin. So all of these things come together to explain the physiology and the dating of the systems of our body. We also talk about the cells of the body getting weaker and getting replacements as time goes on in the course of aging. All of this will combine to make you look at an older person, grow white hair, lose some of the teeth in your mouth, and then they are less able to hear very well. Kilewi, and then you are not able to see well. Some people use glasses that are as thick as the bottom of the Coca-Cola bottle. Yes, because the eyes are almost gone. You need all of this magnification so that they can still see. And when they see, it is still very faintly so that they see. Some people will have the legs there, but they're not able to stand properly on top of it. Not because of anything, but because the energy that was there has been reduced by the length of time they have been on the surface of the earth. It doesn't go around that way. So that's why the best description of Allah, the best way to relate to Allah is to say Akbar, Allah Akbar. Because people of the same age will not show the same sign. They don't age the same way. Some people age with their eyes, some people age with their nose, with their hearing system. Some people age with the joints of their body. Some people age with demonstration of so many other, and there are people who age and you never know that they have aged except by the look on their faces. They still stand strong and they are able to shake you. When they shake you, you have to cringe and say, daddy, it's okay. There are people who are above 80. When they slap you, you almost go deaf. And these are the things. What some of them can do at 90, if some of us at 25, 30 may not be able to do it. So this is Allah in his way of doing things to show and demonstrate that. The best way to relate with him and describe him and accept him is to say Allah Akbar. None like him. Allah is just too much. Allah is just too much. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Look around. You see from yourself that Allah is indeed great. So all of this will combine. We now snowball this into relationship preparation for your old age. When you get old, you need companionship. The greatest treasure you have at old age, there are two: good health and good companionship. So the indulgences of our life will eat deep into our health, ila mashallah, and then of course the relationship that you have. And we said that when you started your life, you were alone. You got married, you became two. Even in plural marriages, you are still two at each time. If you are married to 4 wives, you are two in 3 places or 4 places. So at the end of the day, you become two when your children have successfully left you. They become men and women, husbands and wives, fathers and mothers too. So eventually you have to stay with the person who you got married to. And that's the only person you can trust. The only person you can think, yeah, this is mine. The only person who should know how you feel. You've known yourself for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. The best of friends. So the greatest loneliness and the greatest worries of life is when you are alone in the company of your spouse. I dwelled a lot on this last presentation. Everybody should prepare for an old age if and when the children are not around. If and when the grandchildren have said that we'll come back to see you in another 3 months. For those 3 months, you don't suffer. Your spouse should be your best of friend, your best doctor, your best carer, the one you can complain to, the one who will listen to you, the one who will remind you of your drugs if you have to take any, the one who will ask you about your appointment with the doctor, the one who will tell you your appointment is so date, the one who will accompany you to see your doctor. Yeah, to see your doctor. You are eating jollof rice and Coca-Cola, whatever together. You must also take the next item on it together. Visit the doctor together. Remind him, her, of the doctor's appointment. Have you taken your medication? Give him water. Give her water to take the medication. Join your wife in the kitchen when she prepares food. The longer you stay together, the more the more you live happily, and the more you're able to forget if there are things you need to forget in the past. The old age is actually a time for you to make amends. You make amendments. If you have been cruel, you have been wicked, you have been unfriendly, you have been far away, people who don't stay at home. When you get older, let your spouse know that no, those circumstances. So those things were just circumstantial. This is the real me. I'm available for you. Available, I am. Support, assist, and get your spouse to know that you are indeed a friend in deed and in need. So when you get older, you become more dependable. You want to depend on somebody. Who do you depend on that can actually stand the test of time? Only the person who has known you for a long time, and that is your spouse. So to now become a cat and a rat as a spouse in your old age, that is the greatest affliction that I can remember in a relationship. So it is important that we try before we get there, and we're on the way there surely, to ensure that when the time comes, we will not be alone, so sad. Your children will tell Daddy, I'll come and see you. Your great grandchildren will just come. Of course, they will either be at the worst, they will be in the nursery school. And when they're in the nursery, they come and make noise in the house for how long? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maximum between July and September. That's 6 to 8 weeks. Then for the rest of if you remove 8 weeks from 52 weeks, you have about 44. For 44 weeks, you'll be alone with your wife or husband. So if you have a cat and rat relationship with your spouse, it means for 48 weeks you are sad and unhappy. And then you manage to be happy for just 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know how anybody will enjoy that life. The best thing you can get in life at old age is care. The only person you are sure can care for you is your spouse. Children will send money to you for far away. They are far away from you. Yes, they'll send money to you. Daddy, no, I'm going to send money to you. Yes, I'll send food to you. These days, they eventually will even buy food and send to you. They will order food and somebody will bring the food to your door. I've been asked to deliver this food to you. Now, if you don't have a good home, you don't have a good relationship, and you're not happy, that chicken will take like the back of a tree in your mouth. So we need to get all of this ready. We don't know, I don't know how this strikes any of us. If there have been issues that we're worried about, this is the opportunity to learn and make amends. Talk about it. Forget about it. And then, of course, I've said also that happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice. So you can't be unhappy and expect people to be unhappy with you. It's a choice to be happy. Just like salvation is also personal. So choose to be happy. Everything around you, turn them into happy things for yourself. Do good. I believe in one thing. Treat people as good as you are, not as bad as they are. Particularly in Islam, that everything is ibadah. Allah has told us to take care of our wives and husbands, not because they are good. I've not come across it anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith. Well, I've not read so much where Allah says, no, take care of your wife because your wife is good. No. Allah says it's important for you and it's a duty to you as a man to take care of your family. It's a duty upon you as a woman to respect your husband and take care of the home, the things that he has kept in your possession, which Allah has given both of you. So it's a duty. So when you do this duty, you earn hasana from Allah. And this hasana will gather together to make you comfortable in your saree, your grave, and then will also stand on the weight of goodness for you on the day of Qiyam. So don't look at whatever has happened in the past. Don't dwell so much on things that will make you unhappy. Choose to be unhappy, nobody can make you happy. Therefore, make the best of the time that you have. You do not know for how long you still have left. 3 weeks, 1 month, 1 day, 10 years. Not nobody's sure of anything. Nobody's sure of how many of us will wake up tomorrow to do Salatul Subhi. Nobody's sure of it. So think like the Prophet has taught us, like today is the last day, this is the last hour. And then, of course, live your life, be good to people, prepare to live as if you will live forever and you will never die. So the only thing that you need to dwell on is how do I meet with my Allah if the time is now. So that keeps you on the track to seek the pleasure of Allah always. But of course, do good so you can have a good ambience for as long as Allah keeps you alive. So I want to stop here so we can ask questions. I've started again all over and I've run it to the end. But I pray unto Allah Azza wa Jalla, as I did the last meeting, that Allah should make all these things that we have talked about, they could be difficult unless Allah makes them easy. And only Allah knows how many mistakes we have all made as individuals and collectively that is haunting us. Only Allah knows the way out of them all. But of course, if we seek forgiveness from Allah, we must also know that Allah has given that to us as people. Forgive those people who have offended you. People who have done things that you say, no, never. If Allah says never to you, what will happen to you? And then again, don't forget that if you drink gamalin, nobody can die for you in your stead. So think happiness, think joy, think goodness, think kindness, think appreciation, so that you live a comfortable life. And then again, you prepare to enjoy good health. And then, inshallah, Allah will bless us and make our life easy and comfortable. Allah will grant us good health and prosperity. Inshallah, ta'ala, we shall live to see goodness. We shall live to see our grandchildren in good health and in good wealth and prosperity. And by Allah, all that Allah has given us, He will endear us with those things that will make us earn His pleasure all our life. Ya Arham Rahimin, Ya Rabbal Alamin. Let me stop here so we can ask questions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As usual, thank you. This is quite deep. We highly appreciate you. While we are waiting for people to raise their digital hand to ask questions and enrich this conversation, there are three problems that are common, which seem to contradict the realities that you presented to us. Let's start from the last one. You said to live like cat and dog at old age is the worst affliction.
Cat and rat.
cataract.
Yes.
Okay, cataract máa jẹra wọn, cat and dog máa ń jà ni.
No, cat and rat. The
Cataract,
rats will not stay where the cat is because they always run away from themselves. So to
ó
live a
rà
cat
jẹ.
and rat life is the husband and wife that will not stay together. If somebody is in the sitting room, the other will go and stay in the bedroom.
Okay, this is common. This is common. Then it has gone to a stage they call shut down.
Yeah.
When 2 years ago I had this expression, I was shocked. It was on this platform. They said you can choose to shut down, and it is the women. When they shut down, at the time they have become old enough to have confidence in emotional enjoyment, they choose to shut down. And once the women shut down, it is difficult to make them open up again. They shut down. Then some of them tell us that it is because it is the husband that first shut down.
Well, Imam,
A
let me just
woman
clear.
told us here,
Let me just quickly address this, Imam, in 1 minute. That when you shut down,
okay,
it's like choosing unhappiness and you want somebody to be sad. No. When you shut down, the person who has shut down is also not happy. Why do you want to nurture and keep to experience and stay in a sad mood? Of course, something would have caused. Yes, the husband caused it. Yes, the husband didn't do well. Yes, the husband didn't support you. Yes, the husband caused you. Yes, yes, the husband shouted on you. Yes, the husband didn't give you enough shop money. We have never given enough anyway. So all of these things add together. You now shut down. Then you are adding to the problems of your life. Look, there are so many women out there whose husband will not give enough money to run the home. Joyfully, happily, comfortably, they add to it. But because the home is beautiful, joyful, and they are both happy, the woman enjoys the return on investment for what she has done. She's the one, she's happy. The husband is also happy. But by the time you shut down, the woman is drinking gasoline and wanting the man to die. It doesn't happen like that. So if anything had, that's why I dwelt a lot on forgetting the past and forgiving ourselves. I hope I'm clear, Imam.
yes, you are clear, you're clear, you're clear. Another one is that they, as a result of this shutdown, the man does not touch the wife for 3 months, 1 year, only 4 years. Well, there was an extreme case. It was more than 3 years. They didn't touch each other, and they were living together. Um, we want to know what may cause this too. That
Right.
husband and wife
Yeah.
don't touch each, and they
Yes.
sleep in the
Yes.
same.
Yes. Somebody has given me a good explanation here. It says women will shut down due to continuous emotional disturbances from their husband. And I say you can
Mm,
turn your lemon into lemonade. Look, who can say that he has not had a period of quarrel with the husband, with his husband, or with his wife? No. Sometimes some
nobody.
very good women, very good women out there, they will turn around and talk to you and talk you out of it. There are some men who will, they will naturally cock up their wife that will wake them up. And I have a woman who always tell the husband, "Ẹ káàbọ̀, ẹ ti lọ látijọ́, ẹ káàbọ̀." You know, there are people like that. But the truth is that if indeed what we want is happiness, the best way is not to shut down. So going to what you have now just said, the sexual relationship is indeed the highest of relationship on the surface of the earth. It's the reason the woman will leave her parents to come and join you. I said the last two episodes and I repeated the last one. The woman is not married to your money. No. Not married to your handsomeness. No. It's not married to your wealth, not married to your good look. No. The woman is married to that's all. So if the reason she's married to you is that, then it means that she will want to keep that alive. And I must say, one of the reasons why we have marital bruises, marital uh, bifurcations, marital fractures is because that aspect of it is no longer in operation. Why will you leave your wife? Why will you, if let's say the man leaves the woman, whose prerogative it is to invite? That's the post I'm giving tonight. Now, if the husband says or behaves, no, and takes the two of them to say no, why that's why it will not happen. A good woman who wants peace at home, who wants joy, who wants to be happy, despite and in spite of everything, will still make efforts. I've refused all my life from my days in Ife, even days of people who were dating. I have said repeatedly, it is not the prerogative of a man to go and look for it. If you, as a woman, you see a man that you love, find a way of getting him to know. Because a lot of people have missed the love of their life and they still suffer for it today. So even when you get married and you're in your old ages, whose prerogative it is to make the first move? It is either party. And then if the man is annoyed, is angry, whatever, he will not be angry for life. And of course, àwọn Yorùbá, wọ́n ní ọkùnrin tóbìnrin ò tí ì lè mú, Ọlọ́run ò tí ì dá. I agree with that statement. By the time you do all that you need to do as a woman, the man will just eventually laugh, and that's it. The best way to even solve, I hope there are no children listening to me here. The best way to solve any problem, any issue on this earth is that thing we are talking about. Once you go through that route, all problems solved. Imam. So to shut down is not natural. It's not good. It should not be encouraged. The best way is to live your life to the best. But now there are reasons that could be biological reasons, medical reasons why. Like I talk about erectile dysfunction. The truth about it as you get older is that the man gets weaker in his organ. The woman also gets weaker in the sense that that part of the body becomes dry. They have pains. They have more pains than in the past. I mean, it's supposed to be a joyful thing. It's supposed to be an enjoyment and all that. But when you now do it and have a lot of pains, some of them have bruises in the course of the action. Because the estrogen has gone away, the progesterone they have all gone away. It's like now grinding pepper on a mortar. So because they suffer this, they dislike it. And then, of course, there are things they use, but of course, we are also afraid now to prescribe those things for them because some of them can actually lead to and aid what is called cancer in women. So, do you want to enjoy and then eventually suffer cancer? No. So that's why I'm saying that that act does not start with when you go to the bed. Have you eaten together? Which was the last time that your wife was dressing up? You're also dressing up for an occasion, and your wife says your cap should match my gilly because you are putting on white. I also want to put on white, and your wife will look at you and say, no, because you are putting that on, I also want to put this on. When was the last time you did that? When was the last time you sat down to eat together and you take meat from yourself? When was the last time your wife was cooking and you enter the kitchen? And like my friend, I have a friend, I don't want to mention anybody's name. When the wife is frying fish, he's always going there and chicken and all that. You take some of them. Yeah, it's all part of the fun. So the body is already making the best use of the available level of hormones in your body to satisfy. So it is true that we need to it is true that we need to study ourselves and choose happiness at all the time. And then don't let's forget the most important part of it is where is Allah in the course of all of this? Do you do Azkar together? Do you do Ta'lim? When was the last time you just stood together before Allah to present your requests? Tahajjud. When was the last time you prayed together? Like I said in the first episode, this first or second, most of our women are appallingly ignorant about Islam. Even wives of people who are very learned, they don't know anything. And some of them they have very shallow knowledge of Islam. So we need to ensure that we teach them they know, and that is according to my last presentation, prepare for your burial before you eventually die. Nobody can give what he doesn't have. So let your wife know what to do if you die. Let your husband know what he should do in case you die. Let your children know. And all of this can only be taught if you are quarreling with your wife and you say, if I die, you are killing the woman. But if it's a time when you are doing ta'alim and you read a verse of the Quran that talks about this, this thing can come, in case it comes, then it's like a lecture. But if you suddenly from the Quran and now say, well, if I die, do this, the woman will die before you. So these are the things that we need to do. So the best way is to live your life to the fullest. Put Allah in the front, at the back, on the right, on the left, ahead of you, behind you, on top and bottom, and the bottom, so that Allah will circumambulate and circum around you, so that you can have the best of life and have the best of Allah at the same time. So it happens like that. We need to talk about it. If and when there is enough foreplay in terms of what we say, what we do, what we see, then it's likely that the mood in the man will be better and then the wetness in the woman will improve. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Before we take global ruler, there is another issue. Meanwhile, I know that's your friend, and I know his other friend, especially tó bá ń jí ìgbín jẹ, wọ́n láwọn ò jí àwọn ò jẹ ẹran jẹ, àwọn mú ẹran jẹ. I know the two of them. Don't worry. All right. The other
I know only
issue,
one. I know only one. If you know two, me, I know one.
I know the two of them, the friend and the friend. I know the two of them. All right. This other issue that we can quickly take. When the husband loses confidence to face the woman, like you said last week, the woman becomes confident, authoritative, assertive after menopause. The man doesn't understand that, like you said, there are two men in the house now. See exactly what you said last week, that
Exactly.
when the woman
Exactly.
is old, there are two men. The two of them are now men. When the man now loses confidence and doesn't have that urge, he doesn't want a fight, the woman will raise her voice. Every issue is an argument. So the man, instead of enduring this argument, he shuts down. This is one reason why men too shut down, and then the woman will react. Each of them will be accusing the other of the same offense. How do we handle this?
Hello? Can't hear you again. Is it network?
Okay,
Am I being heard?
I'm still talking. I'm
Maybe
still
network has
talking.
taken the mom away.
I'm there. Am I not there? I'm there. I'm talking. I'm still talking. Okay, if you can't hear me, let's have Global Surura then. Okay, let's have Grandma.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I want to join everyone in thanking our brother, Dr. Kushimo. May Almighty Allah continue to guide you aright, increase you in goodness, elongate your life, and count all your good efforts worthy of his abundant reward here and in the afterlife. Amen. Yes, I can see that throughout the lecture, emphasis has been on couples, aged couples. But as we all know, some of us are destined to be alone in our old age as a result of death of a spouse or as a result of divorce. So I want you to talk briefly on how to cope with this, being alone. Even some who are married as a result of one thing or the other, maybe the wife decides to japa to the children and the man is left alone. I want you to talk to this because that is the reality. Some people will be alone and they will not be with their partners in old age. I will appreciate if you can advise those of us that fall into that category. May Almighty Allah ease our affairs grant us sound health in our old age, and let us end well. At the end of our sojourn, let us be among the inheritors of Al-Jannah to Firdaus. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Well, I must say that Global Amira, you have to repeat all of that because the network was not my friend at the time you spoke, and I can't afford to miss Global Amira. Aja Surura, you have to say it again, please. Maybe you make it brief. Give the summary of what you said. Ah. Hello? Subhanallah. Have you any problem?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I wasn't able to unmute, sir.
Okay, now
I
you
just
have
got.
unmuted. I can hear you. Yes, go
You
on.
can hear me now. I said throughout the lectures, I thank Allah on your
You
behalf
have
and I pray
unmuted
for
now,
you.
please.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, go on, go on.
Yes, I said I thank Allah on your behalf and I have prayed for you. And I pray Almighty
Alhamdulillah,
Allah will
Amen,
accept
Amen,
that prayer.
Amen,
So now I said
Amen,
that
Amen.
you have delved more on the issue of couples in old age. That you
Yeah.
should talk about singles in old age, because as Allah has destined, some people will have to live
Allah.
a lone life in old age. Some of us will be divorced, others will lose their spouses, and in some cases too, some will be alone as a result of maybe the mother has japa, or probably as a result of ill health, the children decide to take the mother, and then the father is alone. And some who are widows are alone, and some who are divorced are alone in old age. So I want you to talk to us on how to cope with this. May Almighty Allah
Thank
ease
you.
our affairs.
Allahumma
Assalamu
ameen. Thank
alaikum.
you very much. Alaikum salam. Beautiful. Please give me a few minutes to quickly talk about this. Well, yes, it is a great oversight. This is something that we must talk about. It's the reality of life. Some people Allah takes their spouse away temporarily. Some of them Allah take permanently. For those who are taken temporarily away, either because they are on leave, or because they are sick, or because they have traveled to go and go somewhere, or they've gone to greener pastures, those are temporary separations. And some of them are final, either because of final divorce or final exit from this world. So if we now get old and we are single, you still need a friend. Indeed, I tell you, if there's anything that is so rewarding in old age, it is your soaking yourself into religious activities. That's the only way you can enjoy this life and be happy. At that point in time, the Quran will be the greatest companion that you have. Your co-worshippers will be the best of friends that you will have. The best of group that you will attend will be when they are doing YC or doing their tafsir or something. And the joy of your life is kindness. When you gather people together, either singly or in community, and you are able to give to them. When I say give to them, I do not mean that you need $1 million to do. How many people will happily come to your place? Even in the midst of you're not having, when you do not have, how many people will come to you? How many people? How many people? You see, if indeed you are a Muslim, you will know that La tanal birra. You will not make any headway. Prosperity will be far away from you, except you now invest in what Allah has given you, so that you have further return on investment. So, if you are single, whether you are single or not, but more importantly, if you are single, you must now genuinely, intentionally, deliberately weave around you friends. And when I say friends, will be friends that will make your life meaningful. Tawasaw bil haqi wa tawasaw bil sabri. You now have to gather people around you who will stay with you and who will seek the pleasure of Allah with you. Don't forget that people who do not call you to God will not remember you if they have the opportunity of seeing God. I'll say that again. People who don't remember you about Allah and calling you to say, okay, can we go and pray? Can we do fasting? Can we read the Quran? What do you think about the Quran? People who don't say that to you, if they have the opportunity of seeing Allah face to face, they will not remember to talk about you to Allah. So it is a time for you to say that the greatest friend that you have, the words of Allah, the greatest activity that you have is to seek the pleasure of Allah. The greatest friend that you have are those people who will stay with you from the point of view of purification, total obedience, and obeisance unto Allah unconditionally. People who will not give you sawdust instead of people will not take your brain away and put sawdust in there for you. You need to, on your own, raise and make friends and weave them around you so that right, left, and center, you will have people who will be the joy of your life. Everybody in life, whether your father or mother or husband or daughter or wife or whoever, unless the person is your friend, you cannot enjoy that relationship. So indeed, if you've lost your spouse or you are single by whatever reason, either by death or because of divorce and all that, and you are still alive and well, and you don't want to go into another relationship, or you may be not able to go into another relationship, you need a companionship. Who that companion will now be depends on the way you have lived your life. There are a lot of people out there who they will continue to remind, but daddy mawa, because the person is not a person, only live pelu. You are not a good person. Nobody wants to come to you. Pupo, dele, anything. Nobody has benefited anything from you. So nobody is expecting that you'll be of any good to them. So they don't want to come to you. Tell them 100 times. But there are people, even in your poverty, when you don't have anything, people will still come to you. I people have given me a lot of shocks in my life. I'll tell you this story, Ma. When my Zainab was getting married some 4 years ago, there is a particular person in my life. She shocked me. What did she do? People could give anything. But this girl went to buy a plastic kettle, age alwala, and wrapped it in a piece, beautiful nylon and gave to me. And he says, please give this to your daughter to make ablution with. I cherish it. I still have that video in my head. This is a person that could hardly afford any meal. So that is to tell you how much people feel. So how many people in their life will say, yes, you have made my day? How many people have been able to smile because of what you have done to them? How many people have you put on their faces atike? So they continue to wear that goodness, good atike on their faces because you have put it on them. So we need to try. We need to try. You need to ensure that you have close relationship. Loneliness kills easier, faster than illnesses. People who stay alone, live alone, they may suffer more, and their hypertension doesn't go, their diabetes doesn't go, because there's nobody to actually share psychologically with. So even in debility, people get better if they have people around them who are as friends, who talk to them, and who share their agony and pains with them. So this is the brief I can say for now. That can be a topic for another day, but that is just the preface that I can give. Global Amira, did I touch your question?
Um, she may not be able to unmute, but she must have heard you. Thank you very much, Doctor, tonight again. Although you seem to be pushing for managing loneliness, and I don't know what the National Council of Mental Health will
Network is there again.
coordinator will say, but you have we heard you. We have heard you that you are
Thank
pushing
you.
for managing loneliness. The question that is on ground,
Mm.
you said it now. Maybe you said this is a topic for another day, and another day is next week, inshallah. Managing loneliness. I swear. I'm not the one, it's you. So, managing loneliness, anyhow. But finally, before you go, I was talking about when two old people live together as husband and wife, and you said at that point the woman is like a man.
Yeah,
A
yes, that's
situation
what I'm
where
talking about. Yes, yes,
where
yes,
the
yes.
woman now demonstrates this manliness to
Mm.
the extent
Mm.
that Every small issue, she has raised her voice.
Mm.
Every small issue, she's arguing. To the extent that the man now loses confidence. He's afraid of discussing with his wife because it will lead to argument. It will lead to raising voice. These things were not happening before. A 64-year-old told me day before yesterday that these are things my wife already wasn't doing before. I said it's normal. It's normal. It's a normal thing. He said he was contemplating marrying a second wife. I said at 64, if you marry a young person, you marry her for the boys around. If you marry a widow, you are preparing for widowhood. If you marry a divorcee, you are preparing for hypertension because a divorcee has experience. She would not want you to divorce her again. But from our experience, some of the time, especially in the north here, a divorcee is likely to be divorced second time. So in order not to be divorced second time, she goes out to give you kaya mata and you become a robot. So I advised him, he's from Okeogun, but he was adamant. What should I tell him? That he lacks
Yeah.
confidence to even
Yeah.
open any discussion, let alone this intimacy. What
Yeah.
happens?
Yep. Yes. Yes. Well, there are. You see, if you abdicate your job position, the loss is much. Don't let's forget that as Muslims, the man is the driver. It needs not because of anything, for the safety of people inside the vehicle, for the safety of getting home. He has to care for the tires, care for the listen to the engine sound, ensure that the conductor is safe, ensure that the doors are properly locked, ensure that the steering is properly held. If everybody sleeps inside the car, he's not supposed to sleep. So the man, as the husband, is supposed to be there, care doing all of these jobs together. It's a field marshal in the house. So, like I said, at old age, like any old person is a field marshal, doesn't take instruction from anybody. And we have seen this. And I don't know whether we're also going to be like that when we get older than this. Because the thing at that age is that you do not want to take any instruction. You believe you are right. You don't know, you don't want to take a no for an answer. Like, don't let's forget that we are going back to where we started from. When we started as young children, if you say, don't go there, and the child goes there, you can smack the child, can beat the child. But this bigger child that you are saying, don't go there, if he goes there, what do? You can beat. You have to tolerate. So, for both people who are old, they should realize that Gerejela Bagba. And that is why I dwelt on what has been their experience all days before that old age. It has been a case of cat and rat, a case of beat me, I beat you, slap me, I slap you, and all that and all that. And there are things that continue to haunt either of both of them. Then you cannot at that stage now say forget and say you cannot manufacture happiness for them unless they choose to forgive and then they move on. So that's the first one. Second one is that emotionally, because of the hormonal predisposition, a woman has become a man by the time the menopause has arrived. So it takes a lot of wisdom and divine guidance for both of them at that age to submit to themselves. And that is the path to salvation. At whatever age, the woman recognizes the husband as whom Allah has put in charge of her affairs. The husband is the Qibla that Allah has given to him. So you must give obeisance to your husband to the extent that Allah has permitted. You must give him the respect as Allah has permitted. You must do your function in the house. And in fact, part of what I understand as kulu kaulan shadida, speak good words, is to be silent when the other person is speaking. When we both talk at the same time, there is no way that we will not cross our paths and say wrong things. Most people, most women who are wise, they give respect to their husband, they keep quiet. So I think we need to understand this properly. A woman will earn a lot of hasana from Allah if she chooses the path of peace and does not torment the man. The man will earn a lot of asana if she realizes that the woman is like the rib from his chest. An attempt to straighten it too badly, too easily, too quickly will bend it. Sorry, will break it. And when you have a broken rib, only Allah can save you from the pains. So if Allah, the Prophet has told us through Allah, if Allah has told us through the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that your wife, your spouse, a woman, is like the rib in your chest, and that if you attempt to straighten it too quickly, too urgently, and without being gentle about it, you will break it, and then that will be more devastating for you. So if we see it like that, that is the portion that is Allah in His wisdom, the way of predisposing us to ourselves, then we'll submit unconditionally to Allah and demonstrate it to our spouse that I'm doing this not because you are good, but because Allah has commanded. Then you engender love, and then you earn asana from Allah. I don't know whether I was hard or.
Sorry, you were hard. You were hard.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, let's see this question. Is marriage compulsory for widow or divorcee? Marriage is compulsory for widow and divorcee where she won't be maltreated, but where she will be abused, marriage is only encouraged. It's not compulsory, especially where the widow and divorcee are young. Marriage is compulsory to prevent trouble. I've answered my daughter about case, um, who will he now marry? I said, a widow is better for an old man if she's not too young. But a widow is the best as second wife if she won't be oppressed by the first wife and will be treated like a child, like Aisha and Hafsa were treated. The problem of young widow is that the the old woman at home is ready for a fight because she can't compete with her, and we are not as good as people before us who will take these widows as children. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Can we call, if I'm right, Dr. Kushima should just approve that before I call the national coordinator to close this program.
I agree. I agree because one, let's note that there's no way to enjoy old age. When I say old age, is relative. There's no how you can enjoy old age if you don't have friends and companions. We need companionship. We need companionship. We need friends around. So whichever way that you can have friendship without going to haram is the best for you. Loneliness kills faster than any of the diseases that you can remember. So Imam, I agree. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we are waiting for you next week to treat loneliness, how to manage loneliness, whether temporary or interim or permanent. National coordinator, sir.
Is it network?
National coordinator can unmute now.
Okay, sir. Alhamdulillah, we cannot thank Dr. Kuchima, the National Coordinator Emeritus, who has served us meritoriously and still serving. We pray Almighty Allah to accept this as act of ibadah. May He make us to meet it in the journal. So we cannot, like somebody said, we cannot be tired of listening to Dr. Kuchima. in this is a sheikh, is a far, is a scholar, is a professional par excellence. May Allah continue to preserve you on goodness, perfect your health, give you long life, and make you to live this life with happiness. We thank Imam for bringing him on board for us. Although we know he's very, very busy, his schedule is very tight, but he cannot refuse his friend, his friend to class, so we cannot refuse him. So therefore, he's always available to us. So we thank everybody on the call tonight. It's really an opportunity to listen to for all of us to be able to manage. Those who are already reached there, I know we have captured up one thing or the other, and those who are about to, we know that definitely that there's a lot of work for us to do. And those who are still very, very young, Toku, lókè ó tú aṣọ́gbẹ́ o. So we need to prepare now so that ọjọ́ alẹ́ will be a good and better one for all of us. I thank all of us for always being available, especially our brothers who are the other side of the divide, who will be attending this at the odd hour. We pray Almighty Allah to be with all of us, give us the understanding, make this message to be more understood by us more than it has been passed, and make us to be able to use it in our personal life, family life, and communal life. May He give us the wherewithal to be able to broadcast this message to the people. Jazakumullah khairan. Till next week again, we need to remind ourselves of the National Mukayyam coming up between 8 and 10 of August at Abeokuta. We are taking the Dawa to the royals, to the palace of Olu. We want all of us to please join us. We pray Allah to spare our life beyond it. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم تب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.